Bucket fills, tell me something good. All right, Sherry.
Alex jumped on an open house opportunity. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Nice job, Alex. And nice job for sharing those out. That's good. That's really helpful. I think that there's a lot of listing agents that are willing to share their listings with others. It's a very nice thing right now. There's a lot of reasons you want to do that open house. So nice. Back at you.
I'd like to bucket fill Jelena. She's been so helpful and so great for our PC group, and my listing is under contract after 3 days.
Awesome. All right. Is anyone else?
Yeah, me.
Oh, go ahead, John.
Go ahead, John.
I know Heather was supposed to be here, but Kevin was gracious enough to step in, so little bucket fill for him. And then really want to fill Heather's bucket. I wish you would have been here. I mean, if there's anybody that deserves a super time off like she's taken to go to Japan to see her new little grandbaby, talk about well deserved. I mean, she works so hard, and you guys are just lucky to have her. So wanted to fill her bucket today from all of us, I'm sure. So
Yeah, we agree. We give one of these.
Yeah, I'll bucket fill Brittany and Jasmine and Bethany and my entire team for letting me hang out with my baby for 12 weeks. Yay. She's back.
All right. Well, obviously, Kami's gone. We saw her on here for a little bit. We've heard her, and we did see her if you look back. Kami's been gone. Heather's gone. So three before it even starts, I think we need to bucket fill Lydia for stepping into multiple roles. So thank you in advance for that. Same time, remember, she's stepping into multiple roles. So as be quick with your DAs, get things to her quickly. Be patient on your listing inputs. Just patience and understanding. And if you go by the rules, like the systems that are in place, it makes things easier. So don't make her chase you down. Don't make her chase down earnest money. Don't make her do a lot of that things. I'll be here to support Lydia, but she's running the show for the next couple days at least, and then through the entire month she steps in to fill the role that Heather's left for the time of April. So big role. All right, we have some announcements, and then we're going to hand it over to Bethany to lead the ALC. All right, so I went to the ALC, and it was as I saw people this morning, it was clear that Bethany will take care of this. So I looked at Bethany and she goes, "I got it." So we'll be good here.
And I quickly walked away. Thank you.
Fun, I get it. All right, here's a training calendar. Oh, I need to apologize. Last team meeting, I said, please sign up, please sign up, please sign up. And then a number of you guys signed up for yesterday's class, and I wasn't there. And I apologize. I was home. I'm not feeling well, but I appreciate you signing up. We'll get that rescheduled because it means that there's some questions that you guys just have about some things. By the way, one of them is what happens with clear cooperation and what happens in different things. We don't have a ton of answers yet because Northstar it will come out through the MLSs how that rules come, right? And our fees. And but one of the cool things I think will happen, and I was talking to Derek just a little bit, is your marketing. I think they've clarified marketing to the public versus marketing to other agents. So I expect that we'll see some things where you'll be able to do some of your marketing outside of our brokerage to other agents to help them see your listings prior. So we will get very much clarity on that here in the future, but that's one of the things to be aware of. We just don't know yet. So if you have questions, no, nothing has changed for us here in our rules yet. All right. Today's the team meeting, Movie Friday. This Friday is Back to the Future. Fun. By the way, it was a lot of fun trying to figure out what movies go with what weeks. That was one of the things that we talked about as a leadership team, and then Lydia has just ended up and made it happen. So commercial team meeting on Tuesday. This next week, one of the things that you want to make sure, let's go to the next one. Always check that. Oh, here we go. One of the things that you want to make sure is on your calendar is this CE Blitz. When do we need to do our renewals? What's the date?
June 30th.
June 30th, right. And
Sandy
so,
would prefer June 15th.
yeah, right. We'd like to not chase some people down. By the way, if you got a text from me yesterday that said, hey, please pay, you guys responded to that and paid, so I appreciate all that as well. You guys still have access and different things if you got a text yesterday, so thank you for taking care of that. And here's a way to get in front of it. On April 10th from 10 to 3:30, schedule your day to be here, knock 5 of those CE credits out, and it's great. Next.
Hold on, Kevin.
Oh, yes.
I'm on the email from Lydia that says sign up ASAP. But I don't see a link. How
It's
do
on the
we,
calendar.
on the calendar?
Yep, so last Friday I sent out the calendar. Click on it, click on whatever class you want to sign up for.
Okay, say that again. So you send out a calendar,
Yep.
click on the event,
Yep, whichever one you want to sign up for, just
Click on that, it opens another.
and it
page.
opens another page. It's like is that called hyperlink, right? Is that what that-
It's so organized.
Yeah.
It's
So-
on your
so great.
computer.
Oh, yeah, right there. Boom, 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 boom.
Right
You
here.
can click on those and sign up. Great. Next. This April 15th, North Star MLS Tools and Tricks with David Zimmerman. It would probably be something good. We might get some more clarity on some things with the MLS as well, so that would be good. April 15th here in the Market Center, 11. Is that, what day is that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, 11. Remember, we try to have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 o'clock. One of them. All right, next.
Is that CE?
No.
You want to shout out? Go ahead, Eric.
Taco Tuesday on the 22nd. We're bringing in our head of our appraisal management company. There'll be a wealth of information on how you can deal with appraisals. And any question you want to ask, you can ask him. So it'll be good.
Hey, by the way, I just gotta give Eric a shout out. We had closing last Friday. Didn't know if it was gonna happen he was supposed to give a letter, written statement like that week, that Monday. Didn't know if it was gonna happen. He connected right with the appraiser, found out what we needed, talked to the other agent. Everything closed smoothly, on time, way to go. Thank you very much for all that you did on that. Appreciate it. All right, next. All right, Bethany, you're up.
Someone wanna?
I motion to start the meeting.
There's a second.
Second.
All right. So we're gonna go through some market center numbers first, and then we'll dig into, our numbers. But first, we have been reading a book called The Mountain Is You. And today we are covering pages 79, right? I forgot my book.
Yep, through 91.
Thank you. Okay, does anyone want to kick us off with your big ahas? Great.
Mine is pretty simple, just that emotions serve as signals, so try to understand them and you'll understand yourself better.
What does that mean to you?
Pay attention. I've got some things about, it's about the regret section, which is, regret isn't actually trying to make us feel bad that we didn't live up to our own expectations. It is trying to motivate us to live up to them going forward. So all those things, when you're in a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I did that, go do it now. I got a couple other things.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. When you are, instead of trying to battle resist and avoid what you cannot control, you know, just shrug it off and say, if it happens, it happens. So just prepare for it, and be okay that whatever it will happen, fine. I know that's easy to say, right? It's related to the chronic fear and Continuing to move forward, right? There is no outward accomplishment is going to give you a true and lasting sense of inner peace. So just reminding that happiness comes from within and deeper and no accomplishment.
So there were 4 kind of key topics in this section. 1 was self-sabotage. 2 was patterns of behavior, so identifying reoccurring patterns that show up in your life, which self-sabotage could be a pattern. Emotional intelligence. Does everyone know what emotional intelligence is, what that means?
Tell us.
You know?
Emotional intelligence would be, to me, controlling your emotions and not necessarily let your emotions control your feelings.
So there's IQ and then EQ. And EQ is emotional intelligence. There's actually multiple factors to EQ. And the first kind of section, I'd really encourage you to Google it. It's helped me a lot in sales and understanding people. And if you break it down, there's like 4 categories to emotional intelligence. And the first one is actually all about understanding yourself. Because if you don't understand yourself, you can't understand other people. And then the 4th kind of component of this part of the book is building resilience. So strategy is kind of what Ben just said on when things pop up and setbacks, how do you move forward through them? Royce, was there anything that stuck out to you from these 20 pages? No, that's okay. That's okay. All right, so I mean, maybe just a couple like discussion questions for everybody, if you're comfortable sharing, is in looking at like patterns of behavior, was there anything that stuck out to you in reading this on patterns that you have, whether they're healthy or maybe not best patterns?
I'd say yes, there are. And, some of them, I think, if I remember right, was around here.
Yeah, this one, did you find it yet?
I found one that I was gonna
Okay,
share.
go
with you
ahead.
if you have
You
it.
go ahead.
Okay.
I just,
Caring too much about what other people think, right? I think is one that I kind of start as relatable. And that you are, is just really doing what makes you happy, not letting that.
pattern I had underlined too. Automatically believing what you think, feel. Not that, that's true. You must learn to steady yourself and clarity and truth and groundedness, be able to mentally discern between.
Anyone in the room relate to that, where like you have a response and then all of a sudden it means something to you, or it's somehow a truth to you, but maybe if you actually broke it down, it really isn't. Maybe it actually means nothing. Has anyone lost out on a appointment recently or contract or something where you made it mean more than it needed to? I have. I lost out on a listing I never should have lost out on because I goofed up the entire appointment and I wasn't listening. And instead of making the appointment about them, I made it about me. I screwed up.
I'll admit that there's a lot of times where I'll go in like that, and because you're so prepared, the intention is to, along the lines of what Sherry was saying, the intention or what ends up happening is I end up going in thinking, oh, I know what they want and I know what's best for them. And forget to act like Tony and just go in and ask a bunch of questions. Don't act like Tony, but in this case, act like Tony and ask a bunch of questions, you know, to learn more about them. And it's hard because you're prepared, but you do have to be emotionally intelligent and prepare yourself to ask the questions to learn exactly what they need and then pivot. So.
Kids require a lot of emotional intelligence.
Especially daughters.
No, strangle them a lot.
Emotional
Where's Melanie?
Your husband has no emotional intelligence.
Piggybacking off of that, like with resentment, right?
Yeah.
No, just kidding, but is really driven by an expectation that you have of someone else, which isn't necessarily fair to them or you, where you're the one getting upset over expectations that maybe they didn't, wasn't important to them, that was important to you, but you didn't share that. So then you're the one that has resentment.
Anyone else have anything they want to share on this section? Cool. Okay, let's dive into market center numbers. So I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but every month, part of Heather's job is she does something called transmittal, where she sends all of our metrics from the previous month. So today we're going to review all of March's numbers. She sends the metrics to Keller Williams International, and that's how they come up with market trends, and then also just comparing like how is our market center performing compared to other market centers in the market. So we'll go through, these are the numbers that Heather literally just sent out last night because she completed transmittal in like record time. So for closed units, we had 70 closings in March. For written units, we had 71 written units in March. And new listings, does anyone want to guess what we had for new listings in March?
What was our target?
I unfortunately don't have the goal in front of me, I don't know. 30? No, more than that. More than 30,
70.
more than 45.
70.
Including the withholds?
Say that again?
Does that include, withholds?
Lydia, that includes withholds?
No,
Kevin
they
is
have
saying
to be
no.
active.
No, okay. No, just active new listings for our market center. Number was 61, which I actually think is a pretty awesome number for a month. That's basically 2 new listings a day. So I think that's something as a market center we should be really proud of. Agents added, so we added 2 agents to our KW family. Agents lost, we lost 2, which puts our net agent count. So net agents meaning you take the added minus the lost, so we netted 0. Year to date, our net agents is at -2, so we are behind goal. Net company, company dollar. So this is how much revenue the company brought in. So this is like what the market center makes in caps and then also like broker admin fees. So company dollar was 42,710. Owner profit was 2,247, and then profit share was $749 for the market center this last month. In hearing some of those numbers, any thoughts or questions? I know normally it's like an ALC discussion, but I thought it might be kind of different since we get to run the meeting. We're gonna do what we want to do. Anyone have thoughts or questions on that? What stands out to you? So 61 new listings, that does not count withholds. So I know, I mean, we took a bunch of listings as a team last year that are still, or not last year, last month, that are still withheld. So market's looking good. Okay, what else? Spring is sprung.
Yeah, I guess I'm interested, like when we get to his numbers meeting next week, right? Like the second week.
Yeah, because then we'll have the multi-year trends report, like the trend report where we can compare last month, this month, and that report doesn't come out for like 5 days.
Got it. I'm interested when that comes to see, when we got the listings, how many pending transactions do we have? How many pending listings do we have? Because and this is a question I have, are people seeing houses sell fast? Listings sell fast?
Let's
Yes,
talk about it. Are we?
Depends on the price point.
Depends on the price point.
And so we've been seeing, like, we just competed with one that had 25 offers.
Shane, how many offers did that one house have? 57.
57.
What's the price point?
That was 150,000 under price though.
600.
Yeah, I mean, the listing agent is the market.
Could've listed it, so.
well, it depends on price point and
Yeah, I actually disagree. I don't think
I
it's
disagree, that's where,
on
that's,
price point.
that's where I was just gonna make a point, is that, we're aware of a sale that just happened where there were 2 offers and it's just over 9 million off the water. And I listed one on Friday in Chaska for $1.5 million and sold it in 2 hours for over cash with no inspection. So it's,
I think you're right. The $9 million one is sort of an anomaly where you've got people with that few money.
but they were, it was
I
2
think-
offers.
Right. I think 1.5 and under, anything over 1.5, there's not as many buyers for. But 1.5 and under, I think that target is doing well.
Are you guys also seeing that there's a lot more buyers just altogether in 800 to $1.5 million than we had 5 years ago? Yeah, it seems like just, I don't know if this is because naturally prices are going up and people are able to afford those, but 5 years ago, I would have said that, there's tons and tons of houses selling 7 to 9. Now it's like 9 to $1.3 million.
I think
Yeah.
people are just over or half of their entire paycheck going to.
Any other market center numbers that stand out to you guys? One activity that we actually just did as a team yesterday that I would encourage everyone to do is, actually, let's just do this really quick. Then we're gonna run through our ALC numbers, but I actually think the whole point of the ALC meeting is for us to share our numbers, that hopefully it becomes relatable to everyone else in the room and we can all move forward with a productivity mindset. So if you have a piece of paper or if you have a computer, what I'd encourage you to do is take where you're at year to date right now, as far as closed and pending transactions. So add those together, your closed and your pending. And then you're gonna divide it by what your annual unit closed goal was. You should have gotten a percentage. You didn't get a percentage, the math is not mathing, and redo it. But take your closed and pendings year to date and divide it by your annual goal. Anyone comfortable? Actually, I'm gonna put the ALC on the spot. Who wants to share their percentage? Can I do the math? Do the math.
30%.
30?
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, we're at 31%.
31. Gary? I'm at 22. Anyone else out here want to share?
24.
24.
18.
18. Okay. So yesterday was April 1st, which is the start of what? Q2. So where should we be percentage wise roughly? There's not a perfect answer to this, by the way. Say it again?
25.
I would say above 25. And the reason is because really anything you penned in December isn't gonna be closing in December. Would you agree most of the time? Unless you're working.
Hotter though, isn't it?
Totally. So I would say it needs to be higher than 5. Like, for you to, right now, our numbers should be, in my opinion, 30 to 35%. Just pace for the rest of the year and the fall and winter. There's 2 ways you can look at your numbers. So yesterday when we were talking as a team, 22% were behind the mark, right? We're at least 8% plus behind the mark of where we should be year to date. And in talking even about what we were just talking about with the book, The Mountain Is You, there's two ways that you can look at it. You can look at, screw this, I need to change my goal. The year's not going the way I want. Or you can look at it like there's still 6+ months of solid work that can be put in that will influence how your year ends. And I'd encourage you to look at, are there behaviors that maybe are influencing your results that you just need to shift a couple things? If you're not, it's better to know now, in my opinion. Like, it's better to know now, am I pacing ahead? Am I behind the mark? Like, where am I at? So we'll go through our numbers next, but that's an exercise I'd encourage you to work on like pretty frequently. Every month, you should look at where am I at percentage wise in relation to what my goal is this year. And if you're not tracking your activities that get you to those results, you're not going to know what levers you need to change to influence the results. Does that make sense? There are two people in this office that I believe are the best prospectors in the office. That's Jacob. He's in here every day at 8 a.m. And if he's not, you're going to freak everyone out. I learned this because I was like, I beat Jacob to the office and then everyone thought he was like dead on the side of the road. Or Shane. And Shane is so good at just walking around and you'll hear his golf ball as he just walks around and he makes client calls. Shane, how many calls do you think you make a week? Okay, Shane doesn't track them, so he's a really bad example. But I appreciate it.
I used to try to make 20 connections a day where somebody would respond.
So 20 back and forth conversations a day. And what does that conversation typically look like?
Sometimes it's just, you know, happy birthday, or sometimes it's just, how are you? Somehow they'll ask me how I'm doing, how's the real estate market, I'll talk a little about that, but really it's just staying in a relationship. I'll eventually ask, how's your house treating you, or, you know, I still have enough space. I'll say a joke about me.
Ready to move yet?
You was ready to buy your lake house yet? Or if their work is going really well, like sometimes say, oh, I got promoted, or and I was like, oh, been great upsize then, huh? Yeah, like little things like that.
All right, you guys ready to report out our numbers?
Yes.
Don't be so excited, my goodness. Okay, here we go. We're gonna report out our March numbers. So our goals versus our actuals. I'll be real transparent in saying that 2 of them I'm not even 100% sure I know what they are, but I'll go ahead and go first. So my goal is to make 1,000 dials a month, but that has not been happening with Jess out, and I'm very grateful she's back. So in March, I only made 62 outbound dials through my dialer. Contacts, I'm pretty sure I had probably a 50% contact ratio. So let's just say I had 30 voice-to-voice conversations. Appointments, 22. Contracts, 18. Closed units, 9. And then our GCI for the team was $98,067. Right now, our profit projection is about 50% profit. What's next? Great.
All right, let's see. For March, for dials, my goal is 4,375. Well short of that, with 2,234. Contact goal is 437.5. Again, short of that, 263. Appointments was 20, and I hit that spot on at 20. Contracts goal 8.5. Short of that was 5. Closed units goal was 6. At 3 for 22,250. Profit goal is just over 47,000. Well short of that with just over 4.
Jerry, you want to go next?
Dials and reach out, I was short at 107, contacts 60, appointments 12, I think that one, actual contracts 8. Trying to get 10, closed units 5. GCI goal was 35 and I hit, 31. The actual was, I was down about 1,000.
Ben, you wanna go?
Yep, let's see, for reach outs, was around the 120 mark. So was able to make the goal. A lot of that was face to face. It averages about 7 to 8 contacts per day, whether that's face to face or not, but I do a lot of face to face. But let's see, actual, 55 were contacts that were connected. Appointments, that 15 appointments, the goal was 16, so was 1 short for the month. Did write 11 contracts and had 11 closings. Our goal is 12 closings, per month to get to them, which 12 times 12 is 144. Our goal is 138 for the year. So we hit 11. We do have some catch up to do from last month though, so technically we are behind the year. We did, meet our DCI goal and exceed it, along with profit as well. So we're around the 45% area.
So yeah, my monthly goal is 110 contacts or dials. I've been terrible the last 2 months. I've been getting a lot of referral business. And I've been working on hiring an assistant, so I'm happy to say I am hired. I just hired an assistant yesterday.
Nice.
They'll be starting in 2 weeks, so I think that will help me make my calls moving forward. I've only made 25 dials in March this last month, made 15 contacts. I did have a ton of appointments, but they were all referral based. I had 10 appointments in March. Wrote 5 contracts, closed 3 units, and my goal for GCI monthly is 30,000. The actual for March was 41,742.
Does anyone have questions on the numbers that we track? Or just questions on why goals are the certain way they are? Yeah.
Question for the guy in the middle who's ahead. Why?
I'd say the number one thing is, so it's just face to face. We do a ton of networking and that's what I've been. In one of my roles for one of our groups is in the president role. So I'm very highly involved in this group of 30 people and each of their individuals network. So it's like 30 people's networks and I pour into that group and everyone in it. And work to meet their people in their circles.
Is that an actual networking group or is that just a group you're connected to through lifestyle?
It is a networking group,
It is,
yes.
okay.
It's called Professional Referral Organization, yeah. And so that's something that I put a lot of effort and energy into and see these people weekly and also outside of our weekly. Which I highly promote anyone getting, it doesn't even need to be a professional business group as much as it's a group that you're building relationships. That's the number one thing. If you can't find one to be in, create one. It'll take time to grow it, but it will totally be worth it. Like this group that I'm in has started 30 years ago. And it was just a few people that decided to get together and start a group, right? But it's pretty awesome what they've created.
Anyone else? Okay, we're gonna move on to talking through some of the Market Center financial numbers. So, does anyone know what the profit goal is for our Market Center? Why is it important that a Market Center has a profit goal? Stay in business, okay, what else? Tony's smiling, so I really wanna know what he has to say.
Enthusiasm.
Okay. Enthusiasm. here's a couple thoughts. We as KW agents, especially as you grow, you actually have the opportunity to run your business like a business. And there's no easier way to follow a model, and KW is literally the standard for models for real estate companies. We should emulate our businesses like a KW franchise is run. So understanding if a business isn't profitable, is it actually worth anything? Like if you were gonna buy, so Royce, you do commercial and business. So if a business is not profitable, how much is it worth?
Whatever the assets are, so it's like a auto repair company, like the hoists and equipment are, but otherwise not much.
So like here, it'd be like literally the desks and the chairs, and does that make sense? And not that KW is looking to sell, that's not what I'm saying. But you don't want to be part of something that's not worth anything, do you? Like, I don't. Like, I want to take pride in where I go to work every day. If we're not profitable, can we hire additional staff for you to have additional leverage to keep growing your businesses? No. So I just think it's important. Like sometimes I remember, if you don't know this about me, I helped run a Keller Williams office for 2.5 years, many years ago. And I remember being in leadership and feeling uncomfortable sometimes about talking about profit because I felt, and this was my own thoughts, my belief was the agents would be like, well, that should be our money. And I had to change my perspective that actually the agent should want the office to be wildly profitable because then we can grow. It shows the health of the company that you're a part of, and it sets a track record for how you to grow a profitable, healthy business of your own. According to the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, how much profit should a real estate team or individual, how much profit should your business have per year? What's the model? 40%. What are the other two expenses? Or no, I just gave one away. What are the other two pieces of the economic model? Cost of sale and expenses. And what are those metrics? 30, 30, 40. So when your revenue comes in top line, 30% is cost of sale. You know what your cost of sale is? What's our cost of sale? Cap. Thank you, Wendy. Your cost of sale is made up of your cap that you pay to Keller Williams. So that's going to be both your franchise fee and your royalty. And it's also made up of any outbound referral fees that you pay. So if you've built a business that depends on referrals from across the country, last year I think we closed 17 referrals, that's a cost of sale to the business. Then what are your expenses? Everything else. Jordan. Jordan's a great expense. Supplies, open house signs. Cool. Okay, so our market center profit goal is 125,000. Who remembers what I just shared our number was from this last month? Yeah, our profit, I have to do some like fast math, but the owner profit was 2,247 and profit share was 749. So if you add them together, we're looking at like $3,000 profit. So if you take $3,000 of profit and you divide it by our company dollar that was brought in of 42,710, that's how you get our profit percentage, which fast math is, and I know it's in one of these reports, but I have like 10 reports up on my computer from Heather. It's about 7% profit. We have some opportunity. I will say this, there are lots of companies out there that aren't profitable though. Okay, pulling up the next thing.
Can I ask a question? Like, the best way for us to increase that profit is not only for us to sell more, but also to add more agents is our best path to profitability.
I love that, Wendy. Yeah. I like really am going rogue here, and John's on Zoom, and I'm like, shit, I might.
I'm listening, I'm listening.
But actually, so here's something that I don't think a lot of people know and I think would be helpful. John, would I get in big trouble if I talked about cap management for a second?
No, you go ahead.
Great, thank you.
I'll
Okay.
shut you up if I have to.
Okay, so as our office grows, there's really strategic ways that we actually manage our company dollars. So that's what gets paid in. Now, in our office, I believe it's about 2.7. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. Lydia, do you know what our cap is? Like how much volume and people cap? Like volume, okay. I want to say let's just say it's 3 million. So roughly if you sell 3 million in real estate sales volume, you should be a capper in our office, which means that you no longer pay the KW franchise. Does everyone remember what our franchise is? So the dollar amount.
Franchise fee is 3,000.
No,
Per agent, you mean?
that's royalty. Royalty is 3,000.
You mean the 13,000?
We have been talking about this because nobody knows. This is so interesting to me.
I think it's 13.
No, yeah, 13, about 13.4.
Really glad everyone knows.
cap?
Yeah, you can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can we call it the right
franchise
thing? Can we
really
call it the right
goes a lot.
thing, like cap?
Okay, our cap here, I
Cap is 13.
I think, I don't think I'm calling it the wrong thing, I'm calling it something different. If you like, it's not wrong, it's just gonna come up here. Okay, so the cap is 13,000 and then royalty is 3. Royalty goes to Keller Williams International, so like that never hits our books. Does that make sense? So 13,000 here, so roughly if you sell, I think it's 3 million, but I'll double check
About
that.
2.5.
Thanks, John. So 2.5 million, then you usually have paid in the 13,000, and then you're at 100% through the rest of your anniversary, right? So I'll just speak for myself. My anniversary is in June. So let's say I cap in a couple months, then I've got say 10 months earning 100%. We are all tracking so far. So when we bring in recruits, depending on if they're brand new or if they're a transfer from a different office, we usually have an idea of, are they going to be a capper? Meaning, did they sell 5 million in volume last year? If it's 2.5 here to be a capper, would you agree that if they sold 5 million somewhere else, they should be able to sell 5+ million here? Great. The market center actually bases our budget off of how many cappers we have. Proven like, hey, they capped last year, we're banking on that they're gonna cap next year. So then everyone that's not a capper, that's actually profit. There's 2 ways to look at that. And I know I'm geeking out on this, but I think it's helpful to know how this works with an office. Is we can either grow cappers or we can recruit them. So we've got awesome agents in our office that are newer. I'm gonna put Alex on blast for a second. Alex, how long have you been with our office? And you joined brand new. Yes. Awesome. And how much volume did you sell? 1.3 last. Okay, great. So she sold 1.3 as a brand new agent in our market center,
Less than a year.
which is amazing. Okay, would you agree, like, I'm gonna put my eggs in the basket that Alex is gonna be a capper this next year. Like, I believe that. So that's then us growing. Alex has done the work. We've just created the environment, right? So she's now going to grow into being a capper. So we can either recruit existing cappers or we can grow them, is how we increase profitability. Anyone else have questions on the office profit? What's the saying? Money is good for the good it can do. Do you all know that we have different nonprofits that you can contribute to when you have a closing? Who knows what they are? That's not Wendy.
KW Cares.
KW Cares. What's that one?
So that's one that's international for anybody who has like an extra special need, you know, so something dramatic happens. There's like we've had Katrina, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of KW agents who lost their homes. And so that money could potentially be allotted to them. We've had some in our market center too.
Yep. What's another one?
The local fund,
What's the local fund thing?
so that when someone in our market center is affected by a tragedy, that we're able to have money set aside that will already donated to be able to share a portion of that with them.
Like a house fire last year, you know, big stuff like that.
And then there's one more. Oops. Who's gonna share? There's someone on Zoom? They changed their mind.
I was gonna say, you just don't need to, we don't need to ask anybody to release those funds. We make the decision ourselves as a market center, so there's no delay, right? Because that's a problem. When money is needed and needed fast, we can deliver.
Yeah, so with our like what KW Cares, there's like a whole application process and they're pretty great about it. I know people that have received money. But to Derek's point, our local fund, we're able to, you know, if something happens, we can we can cut a check same day, right? Like that's something that, either the ALC or just office ownership votes on and makes a decision and they take care of our people, so.
And while KW Cares is great and serves a great purpose, they also have guidelines on KW Cares. And I know there have been needs that didn't meet the criteria for KW Cares because of the situation. But as a market center, we were able to step in and make a contribution because there is a need, or there was a need, and it was immediate, and just because of the circumstance, KW Cares wasn't able to provide any funds. So because we use our money at our discretion.
Thanks for sharing that, Derek.
There's a third one, and I just looked it up at Bethany Nelson Real Estate Group Fund.
There is another one. It's called KW Next Gen. John's laughing. And that is for actually a leadership program that Gary Keller created. It was called Quantum Leap. And now that nonprofit is all about pouring into our young people and helping them create lives and businesses that inspire them. And that all started because I don't know if people know this, but Gary buses students from Baylor University to Austin. And he teaches real estate economics. And that's something he still does. And I believe Keller Williams funds a big part of the Baylor University research, like real estate research department. So we create a lot of that research that was really helpful for us to know about market trends. So does anyone want to touch on KW Cares in the local fund and how agents can give back and some of the conversations we've been having?
Yeah, so like one of the best techniques to be able to do that is which it's very easy to set up and it can be done even right when someone joins, is if you have each closing just have like $5, $10, whatever that amount is that you're comfortable with, go right into the fund or funds that you guys want to. So it's nothing that you have to think about. It's before you've collected the income as well. So there's lots of different benefits for it. And just a great way to be able to get back very easily without you really having to do anything. It's processed by the office for the money that makes it to you. So pretty easy way to really help the local people.
Every time you submit an opportunity and it asks if you want to donate, right? You have the option to do that at the very end.
Yeah. So if you didn't know what those were, or maybe you haven't submitted your first opportunity yet, know that that's what those are, that's what they mean, and people in our office have benefited from them, and there's opportunity, I guess, just to remind everyone that if you're ever in a position of need, that we do have those resources, so to ask for help. All right.
Bethany, just one thing on those. The local fund is great. It helps a lot of us, our agents, but it's not a tax deductible donation like the other ones are. So KW Cares and KW Kids Can, or is it Kids Can? Is that what's on there? Sorry. That those are deductibles. They can be deductible and come out on the front load. You can come out out of your commission on local as well, but it's not a deductible donation.
Cool. Thank you. All right, one last thing that I thought would be good for us to just chat about in talking through just the local funds and, opportunities with income. Who in here has been through a program called Bold? Okay, so almost everybody. Who wants to share what Bold is? Who's willing to share what Bold is?
Derek. Come on, man, 10 times, 11 times?
Yes, a multi-time graduate. So Business Objective Life by Design and is the acronym, and it is a business production focused class and a recurring series, and forming habits that will push your business to thrive. And it's not just business. There's a lot of personal reflection in the course, and basically they take you from being an agent that doesn't know how to generate business to an agent who's able to produce their own business and setting up their sales operation as a business. And it's really kind of all encompassing.
Love it. Do you remember the checkbook exercise?
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's an exercise in Bold called the checkbook exercise, and I'm gonna encourage everybody to do it. And hopefully I can explain this well. Here's the gist of it, actually. I'm not gonna go through the whole exercise. Numerous studies show that you will not make money you don't know what to do with. So if you have a goal, which I'm assuming everyone in this room's goal is to make more money than last year, not less money than last year, correct? Okay. So if you have a goal of making more money and you've never done it before, and you don't know exactly what that gap is going to go towards, studies show that you probably won't hit your goal because your brain doesn't know what to do with the money. So what this exercise, the purpose of it is to stretch your brain into being even comfortable with having that much money. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is go back at your annual goals and look at the money that you set a goal of making this year and truly allocate it and say what you're going to do with it. I'm going to put an extra challenge out there to put down how much you're going to give, because generosity breeds generosity. And the more we give out, the more I believe that comes back in. We talked about KW Cares, we talked about a local fund. Maybe you have a different nonprofit you're really passionate about. No one's going to check up on you. I'm not going to call you and ask you if you did this. If you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it. But I'll tell you from personal experience, the year I was 25 years old, and the year I finally broke through making 6 figures in real estate was the year that I said I was going to send my parents on their dream anniversary trip for a 10-day trip over in the Middle East to follow Jesus' footsteps. And that was the year I finally did it, because I knew how I was going to spend all of the money. And that happened through Bold. I actually think Derek was in that Bold with me. So I just want to encourage you, like, as you're looking at your goals, we all have percentages of where we're at year to date. Let the driving force of what that money will do for you pull you through doing the activities, whether that's open houses, calls you need to make, networking groups you need to join. And I'm just going to say that I know that everyone up here on the ALC cares about you. And so if you want to brainstorm, if you're stuck, I think any of us would have a conversation with you on how we can support you in your goals and your business. And yeah, let's have a really solid Q2. Cool. Anyone want to say anything else?
Hey, Bethany, when you mentioned the checkbook, it just reminded me of a story. I sent my daughter off to college, and of course I gave her a checkbook. And one day I get a call from the bank, and they said, "John, your daughter's overdrawn on her checkbook." So I called my daughter and I said, "Say, did you know you were overdrawn?" And she said, "I can't be. I still have checks." So So maybe I needed to do a little better preparation before that. Then another thing, you were talking about profitability. And
I still have like 20
yes, well, hey, that's the way it goes. But you're talking about profitability. Just another couple things to bring up. Over last year, we're almost 209% ahead of last year for the first quarter, which is phenomenal. And you mentioned that we have $125,000 profit goal for the market center. Right now, we're at 42.7% ahead of that also. So we're really doing well. We've got really big months coming up, so the challenge is out there to really, really stick to it. And then lastly, I'll be there in person next week, so be ready.
We can't wait to see you. All right.
Good.
Make a motion to end the meeting. All right. Lydia,
Team.
do we have wants and needs that we're supposed to talk about?
If anyone has any.
Anyone want to talk any wants and needs?
Just real quick, I'm looking, I got that house I sold, the clients need a rental, up to $6,000, western suburbs, just something decent. Just for a few months, and they can do month to month after that, but 3 to 6 months or so.
Neil Jeter is selling his duplex. It's a up-down duplex in Robbinsdale, a block away from Victory Memorial. It'll be for $380. It's a 1-1 upstairs and 2-1 downstairs. Fully renovated 2 years ago, I believe, and he'd like to sell it furnished. So, $380.
So I also have, I'm sorry, I also have a rental that's similar to Rick's. 4-bedroom, 3 baths, 3 garages, somewhere around 4,000 square feet. But our budget isn't quite as high as yours, Rick. We're looking at about 5,000.
Anyone has a listing preparing for market or off market that is in like St. Louis Park, Fern Hill area, the east side of 100 up to 700, that would be awesome. We've been competing, cash buyer, no inspection, like super solid buyers, but just having a hard time finding it.
East side of 100? Real small.
We have a non-MLS home in extreme southern Plymouth, right behind Carlson Towers, 2023 built, 5,000 square foot home with 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, and is set up with a mother-in-law suite, a master on the main, and primary on the main with mother-in-law suite as well. In a wooded area that backs up to Parker's Lake. And that's 1.8 is non-MLS. And I should have pictures on that today. So if anybody's interested, reach out. We also have a home in Wayzata on Shady Way Road, just north of 12. That's $499, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage on a half-acre lot. Could be a tear down. Otherwise, it's a nice mid-century home and move-in condition. We have one other property on Major Avenue in Crystal at 375 that was fully renovated, I think about 5 years ago. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1-car garage on a double lot that has possibility for building an ADU on the back of the lot, or even adding a 2 or 3-car garage or workshop. And that's really uncommon in that area. It's, I think, 2 blocks north of Golden Valley. So a pretty desirable spot there.
Two coming up. One, the Jennings Cove neighborhood, they're like small portion of the neighborhood has docks. This one does not have a dock, but it'll come on maybe later today or tomorrow for $625. I think that's 5-bed, 4-bath, 3-car in really pretty good shape. Nice and clean. And then one in Long Lake coming up. That's right at $465 price range, 3-bed, 3-bath, really nicely renovated.
Great, can we show some appreciation today? I'll see you, Bethany. Thank you all your all needs and wants to Lydia. Remember, this week and for the month of April, Lydia's doing multiple jobs. Get things to her on time, sign up when you need to sign up, and make sure she sees all your closings on time and all that kind of stuff. Sound good? Listing input, get them in during the day so she can have them done before she leaves if you want them in. So don't put them in at 4 o'clock. Get them in as close as you can to the lunch hour and then she can get them inserted. All right?